All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday, January 23rd. We got 5 NBA games to jump into in today's video. Like we always do, we're going to go through each and every one of these games. I'm going to give you my lean on the spread. I'll give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about any player props or other plays that we like within the game. But as always, my final plays, so I'm rolling with myself, my final plays will be in the pinned comments. So make sure to keep an eye on that, updated throughout the day. Last night we go 2-1. We were bucket away from the Suns cashing as well for back-to-back sweeps, but we'll take it. Cavs money line, they crushed. Celtics minus 2.5. Porzingis gets ruled out, no problem. And then, like I said, the Suns very close. They win by 2. One more 3 there. They hit that. They win by 5. We end up sweeping. But I'll take a 2-1 night on the back of a sweep 2 nights ago. So you know what? We'll take it. And we hit 50,000 subscribers yesterday. Thank you guys so damn much. Very, very excited. Big day for the channel. We hit 50K. Tassos, who does the NBA player prop videos, went and hit a plus 1,000 odds parlay. I think it was 5 legs. So you know what? This is for Tassos. A cha-ching for him too. Make sure you guys are tuning into his videos here on the channel as well. But plus 1,000 last night. Damn. On the same day we hit 50K. You gotta love that. In terms of our ride of the day though, Jacob does not come through for us. You know the rules, Jacob. Gotta drop the womp womp. We had Kyrie Irving over 4.5 assists here. Kyrie Irving finishes with 3 assists, meaning the ride of the day is now up for grabs. Shout out to Jacob here for the past couple videos. Kyrie Irving actually got the start last night, if you guys aren't aware. Jacob picked a couple and just had bad luck with guys getting ruled out. Now it's even worse luck. One guy finally plays and poof, does not hit his line. But if you guys don't know what the ride of the day is, all you have to use is that hashtag ride of the day in the comments. Give me an absolute banger, a lock, an absolute lock of a pick. And I'm going to jump on board with one person's pick in the comments and giving you guys a shout out in the next video, win or loss. If you keep winning, we keep riding with you. I'm also giving you a shout out over on my X at EvGuyBoss there. Make sure to follow me there. But yeah, nonetheless, guys, let's go ahead and jump into game number 1 on today's slate. We got the Pacers taking on the Denver Nuggets in this one. So right now, Pacers sitting at 4-point dogs at home. Total sitting at 243.5. Tyrese Haliburton is on the injury report here. Missed last game with a hamstring. So I guess you hate to see that. This pick of Pacers or Nuggets is going to come down to how that injury report folds or shapes out. So I do think that this is a Nuggets team that's way better than the Pacers, but the Nuggets on the road this year have just not been the most trustworthy team. We've talked about it plenty. I think that they're obviously a championship contender, but they just have not been the best road team. They're 13-10 on the road this season, but against the spread, they're 8-15. Like, yikes, right? Like that's a tough number on the road. Pacers at home 12-8-1 against the spread, but again, Tyrese Haliburton may not be there. Now, we did see the Pacers actually make a game of this. This is just 10 days ago or so. The Pacers covered. They were 10.5-point dogs against the Denver team in Denver, lost 117-109. If Haliburton plays, I do think he gives them a little bit of a spark. He does have player prop lines out right now, so maybe he does play. But I'll lean towards the Pacers if he plays. If he doesn't, I probably don't touch this game. And in reality, I might not touch this game whatsoever because it is tough to bet against Denver, even with the away against the spread numbers. And knowing that that's a struggle of theirs, and that they're coming off of I guess you could say a win against Washington that they just got by flying by the seat of their pants because they only beat Washington by 9 points as 13-point favorites. Like, maybe you could make the argument that they're not playing all that great and they're in the middle of a road trip right now, but they're still a really good team, right? So we'll consider Pacers +4. In terms of a total, 243. Pacers are at home here. I have a hard time believing that this one goes under now. That line is super high. We cashed the under in this one when they played just recently, which again was 117-109. That total was sitting at 239.5. Very similar to this one, but it was in Denver. So I'm gonna flip my stance on that. I'm gonna trust the home team's pace here and lean towards the Pacers in terms of guiding that pace. We're gonna look at the over here. Now, a player prop that I don't mind, and I say I don't mind because Well, because I don't mind it. I don't love it. We cashed it a few nights back, but I'm going to be looking at Jamal Murray here under 37.5 points, rebounds, and assists. The reason why it's sticking in that don't mind category and not really that I love it is because this is a spot in which I like the over in the game ever so slightly, right? So you look at a matchup here. This is an Indiana team that, actually covers point guards fairly well, so that's good. But if there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game and a lot of pace, it's going to be tough to keep them under that mark at 37.5. But if we jump into outlier here, you guys could see it. We can see that, Jamal Murray, plenty of green. He's only hit the over here in four times this entire season. And when he does, he just blows it out of the water, right? So he either has a really good game or just sort of his normal game and sticks under this line. When he last played them, he stuck under as well. That was the game 10 days ago or so. And you can see Indiana matchup here too. A lot of green, so we don't necessarily hate that. So Jamal Murray, under 37.5 PRA. I don't mind, but I don't love the pace of this game. I could see this being a high-paced game. Makes it a little wishy-washy, but we'll keep you guys updated in the pinned comment as always. And if you guys do want that tool I just showed you on the other screen there, it's Outlier. I have a link for that in the pinned comment. 7 days free with that link. Go check it out, guys. After that, it's $19.99 a month, which I still think is one of the best price tools in the market right now. Go check it out. I'm on that tool every single day. If you watch every day, you've heard me talk about Outlier before. Link in the pinned comment. Next up, we have Brooklyn taking on the Knicks here. Brooklyn getting 4.5 points at home. Total sitting at 223.5. This one, not gonna lie, that line is kind of surprising to me. I don't know if we sniff out a trap here, but 4.5 does not seem like it's enough to be laying as the Knicks. I don't care if they're on the road or anything like that. Like, this is a Brooklyn team that has struggled. 2-7-1 against the spread in their last 10, only winning 2 games in their last 10. I will say they beat OKC earlier in the month, which is kind of like an impressive win, so give them credit for at least one of those. And then they beat the I think it was, the Lakers in LA, which is pretty impressive. So their wins have been kind of like, okay, good wins, but no, this is just a team that, we can't really get behind. The Knicks, on the other hand, are playing good basketball. 7-3 against the spread in their last 10. They are 8-2 in their last 10 as well in terms of win-loss. The only argument I could see this being made is that, this is like one weird road game, but is it even a road game, right, in Brooklyn? Like, not really, but it's a road game, and then they have, 3 home games or 2 home games after that. But again, it's not like travel or anything is an issue here, so I'm going to try to not overthink this game and lean Knicks minus 4.5. Like, should we really overthink this and be like, Brooklyn, they might get them? Like, Knicks are such a better team. From an injury report here too, we don't see anything alarming here. Isaiah Hartenstein looks like he's on the injury report. He's a game time decision. He's questionable with an ankle. I think he left the last game, if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, that could be a big blow. No Mitch Robinson, no Hartenstein, so I get it, but I still think the Knicks are a lot better than this Brooklyn team. So I'm going to lean towards the Knicks in this one, minus the 4.5 here. In terms of a total, 223.5 is a low number, but I'm not afraid of this Brooklyn offense as of late, even though they did just have 2 good back-to-back offensive games. I really am not. Prior to that, they had 102, 95, and 103 in the prior 3 games to their last 2. So it's not like their offense is firing on all cylinders. And this is a Knicks team that 4 of their last 5 games and 7 of their last 10, they've kept the game underneath this number. So I do think that defense is playing well. The only game in their last 5, which was their last game, they went over, which was just due to the fact that they scored 126. You know what I mean? I do think that, and that they still cashed their under. That was a game total of 230. They scored 126, held Toronto to 100. This Knicks team is looking pretty damn good. Only one time in their last 10 games here have they allowed an opponent to score 110 plus, and it was a game against Dallas, who's obviously one of the faster teams in the league, right? So they allowed 128 to them, but over the last 5 games here, in terms of what they're allowing, so last 5, they've only allowed 99 points per contest. We got to trust the defense in this one for both side and total. Now, player prop, I really don't mind either. And this is going to come down to also just looking at the odds here. So plus 106 on FanDuel, Spencer Dinwiddie under 5.5 assists. If you can't get this for plus money, I don't know if I love it as much. But he's hit this in 8 of his last 10, hitting the under here. Now, he crushed this earlier in the year, and he's crushed it plenty of times. But this season, he's played the Knicks once. He had 2 assists through 31 minutes. In terms of potential assists too, over his last 7 games here, just having 8 potential assists. To convert that to 6 assists, he'd have to complete, and guys would have to make shots on damn near every one of them. And for point guards here, in terms of reference of, I guess, just the matchup, point guards against the Knicks in the last 7 here, the Knicks allowing the 10th fewest. So, bottom third in the league in terms of assists against, or top third, no matter how you want to look at it, from the point guard perspective or the Knicks perspective. Knicks are pretty good in their last 7 against preventing assists. So I don't mind that spot either. Just looking at that. I also don't mind Hartenstein's over rebounds and assists if he does play. Not that I think he's going to go out there and get, obviously, a bunch of assists, right? He is averaging 5 potential assists per game, but I do like his rebounding chances just overall. So on the season, he's averaging, I think it's like 15 rebound chances. In his last 5 games here, rebound chances, it gets a little bit better. He's averaging 23 rebound chances in his last 5. So he could do this with rebounds alone, but again, he's banged up. He's got a tough matchup in Nick Claxton. Maybe we stick away from that. The plus money play for Spencer Dinwiddie under 5.5 assists is probably where my mind goes to immediately. But again, like I always say, keep an eye on the pinned comment, guys. All right, before we get into the back half of the slate, I want to talk to you about Sleeper. If you guys watch every day, you've heard me talk about Sleeper before, and the reason being is that I use Sleeper damn near every single day, and for new users, they have this free promo square here. Kawhi Leonard, they've knocked his points line down to 0.5 points. The dude's a pretty good player, I'd say. I think he scores 1 point tonight here against the Lakers. So go check out Sleeper, guys. You also get your first deposit completely matched, which is absolutely crazy. You can put in $50. They'll give you a free $50. New account balance of $100 to play with and to win with if you're good at what you do, right? So go check it out. That link for your deposit match and this free square is going to be in the pinned comment. What I love about Sleeper and what makes them unique is the fact that each and every pick that you put into your slip, so you combine 2 to 8 player props into a slip, the more you win, the more you get paid out, right? But what I like that makes them unique is the fact that each and every play has its own unique multiplier. They don't follow a fixed payout structure. 2 for 2 is 3 times, yada, yada, yada. No, if you put the right plays together, you can go 2 for 2 and 6 times your money, depending on what you put together. Like, it is a really, really cool app. So go check it out, guys. If it's legal in your state and you're not on it, you're sleeping. Go check out Sleeper. Wake up and start sleeping. Go check out Sleeper. Link in the pinned comment. Let's go ahead and get to these last 3 games here. Next up, we got a weird one. We got the Pelicans, 6-point favorites at home, taking on the Jazz. Now, the Jazz have been playing good basketball. They did lose 2 straight against OKC, and then Houston at home. Both of those games they were in, though, so we'll give them some credit. But I'm going to trust where the books come out. Like, this is probably the only game, other than, I guess, the Knicks one, which I'm saying smells like a trap. But this is probably the only game that I saw the line and was really, like, head-scratching as to why that line was where it was. Like, I would think this would be much more of a narrow spread, and we're looking at 6. Now, it has moved to 5.5 on plenty of books, and that's just recently. Like, we're recording super early in the morning, and it's just moved now, so the graphic's out of date, too. So maybe that's something to consider, that, they don't like giving the books don't like giving these Utah 6 slips out. But they started it there, and it's only moved to 5.5. I guess I got to trust what they're doing. I'm going to lean New Orleans here, minus the 6, minus the 5.5, whatever you get it at. Kind of makes me shake in my boots, because this is a Jazz team that's been playing really good basketball. They don't have any injuries. No, neither team really does. So it's like, what's going on here? Why is this line where it is? But I guess we don't need to wonder that. We can trust that, they know what they're doing, and then the Vegas is not going to take this massive hit because the Jazz are playing really well and they came in with a really big line of New Orleans. No, like, they know what they're doing. So as weird as that is to say, we're just kind of line reading this one and trusting the fact that line is where it is. So I'm going to take the Pelicans here, minus the 5.5 points. I also like the over. I know that's kind of weird to take when it comes to a Pelicans game, because the Pelicans, plenty of games, play slow, right? Like, I keep saying how this is a team that, just like the game we talked about yesterday, I believe it was the Grizzlies, right? They're kind of like a chameleon in terms of they can play fast, they can play slow, but more often than not, this Pelicans team is playing slow. Last 10 games here, 4th slowest team when it comes to pace here. Utah, on the other hand, is obviously a team that plays a little bit faster. Last 10 games are playing with the highest pace in the entire league. Yes, the highest pace in the entire league last 10 games. So I'm thinking that infiltrates the Pelicans game plan a little bit here, and we do see an over, but not enough of an infiltration to kind of take this game over. So still lean towards the Pelicans, but I do think where the Jazz make their mark is going to be on the pace of play in this game. So I'm going to lean towards the over in this one as well. Now, from a player prop perspective, it is sad to see that Colin Sexton's points line is now up to 21.5, because you guys know we had hammered that a couple times and he'd cashed for us, but I said we're playing it out until it gets bumped. It was 17.5, then 18.5, then 19.5, and that's when I said, hey, if it gets higher, we're probably not going to touch it. I still don't mind him at 21.5, but it's not going to be something we touch because, again, that's a whole bucket. Now, he's been crushing that line still, but once it gets bumped, he's due for some sort of a regression. What I really don't mind is going to be CJ McCollum over 2.5 three-pointers made, so the quantity is going to be there. He's shooting, on the season, or excuse me, in his last 10, he's shooting 8 times a game. On the season, he's shooting 7.9 times a game, so pretty much 8. He's played this Utah team once this season. He went 4 for 10 from beyond the arc there. They allow the third most threes to all positions, third most threes against on the season. But again, that's a Utah team that is a lot different than they were earlier in the year. So I looked at last 7 here, specifically against point guards. They're allowing the 7th most threes to point guards over their last 7, which CJ McCollum, you can make the argument he's a shooting guard, but that's just a big lineup, right, for the Pelicans. So he does get that point guard run. And then overall, this Jazz team allowing about the 11th most threes in their last 7 to all opposing players. But again, that point guard position we like to see. So give me some quantity, CJ, because I do think that he hits 3 threes tonight if he gets enough volume out there. If he only shoots, 6 times, we got to look for him to make 50%. I don't necessarily, fall in love with that. On the season, he's making 43%. So if he gives us, 7, 8 shots, that's where I think that we could hit 3 tonight. So we'll see where that shakes out. Oh boy, we got the Thunder taking on the Blazers here. I chuckle when I say it because if you guys don't remember the last time these two teams played, that game ended with a 137-77 victory for the Thunder. Now, the time before that, which is also this season, they won 134-91. So how can you not look at this line and say, fine, I'll lay the points with OKC, right? Now, it's a little bit too much for me to make a confirmed, feel good about final play. This is obviously a really good Thunder team, but they've been a little bit more shaky than you'd like to think. Now, when I say shaky, they've won and covered in 2 straight games. One as an outright underdog right against Minnesota. So, I get that they're not actually that shaky, but they were rolling for a little bit. Now they've only won 6 of the last 4. They've covered in 5 and not covered in 5 of their last 10, so 5-5. That's shaky for the Thunder, okay? So that's the reason I'm just not going to play this. It doesn't mean that I'm leaning Portland whatsoever, okay? I just kind of stick away from this spread. If anything, I'd lean towards the better team, the better talent, and look at Portland. Better team, better talent, Portland. Let's switch it up on you guys. No, I'd look at the better team, better talent, and look at OKC. But it's just too big of a number for me to really be comfortable with. I also don't love the over in this one, so I kind of by default lean towards the under. I know it's a little bit crazy to lean towards a Thunder under. I'm rhyming. But I don't know if Portland really comes to play like this. Portland offense is terrible. The last 2 times they played OKC, they barely sniffed 90 points one time. The next time they scored 77. If they do that again, I don't care how many points the Thunder score. It's going to be tough to get to, 240 or so to cash this over. So I'll lean towards the under here as well. Player prop wise, I don't like anything because of that blowout potential, because of what we've seen. So sticking away from player props in this game in particular. All right, we have the Clippers taking on the Lakers. Battle of LA here. Clippers technically at home. And the total sitting at 229 as the Clippers are favored by 8.5 points. I want to watch this line because if this thing moves down to 8, 7.5, which I think it will move in that direction, I like the Clippers here. No LeBron James tonight on the Lakers side of things. Zubac is still out for the Clippers here. But honestly, it could be a game in which the Lakers say, okay, no LeBron, then we'll sit Anthony Davis, who's obviously always on the injured report as well. Even if they don't, I still like the Clippers without, I like the Clippers with the Lakers not having LeBron. So I'm going to lean towards the Clippers in this spot. Again, I'm going to watch that line to kind of see where it comes out, but it's a Clippers team that has gotten beat by the Lakers twice this season. I do think that that's something that's going to fuel them. Now the Lakers don't have, I was going to say arguably their best player, but their best player in LeBron. So give me them. In terms of a player prop here in this spot too, we'll get to total in a second. I like Kawhi Leonard over 9.5 rebounds plus assists. He's hit this in 4 straight games. We flashed into outlier. 4 straight games against the Lakers. He did it both games this season. If you look at them from a power forward perspective, yes, they actually, prevent power forwards from rebounding the rock fairly well, but no LeBron. So you got to assume that that's a decent amount of, rebound chances and just rebounds in general that are kind of up for grabs, whether it's the Lakers or the Clippers. So I like that to be a little bit of a, alleviated sort of risk there in terms of rebounds, but they allow plenty of assists to the power forward position, which is kind of where Kawhi needs the help, right? He's averaging about, I think it was 9.9 rebound chances. So we can give him 5 or 6 rebounds as a theoretical floor, but he's only averaging, I think it was 6 potential assists per game. So really that floor is going to be 3. So we can set almost like a determined floor at 8 rebounds plus assists here. If he gets a little bit of an assist boost, we should be looking at him getting into the double digits here. Again, he's done this 4 straight games against Lakers. He's done this in every game, or not every game, but he's done this in damn near every game recently. 8 of his last 10, 4 of his last 5. So yeah, I like the spot for him here to get over 9.5 rebounds plus assists. Now, like I said, the total here is an interesting one. I have this slightly pegged as an under, maybe a 228 type finish. I think the Clippers, if they win this game, they end up making it a little bit slower. They've hit the under 229 in 5 of their last 6 games. And you know what? The Lakers also have hit this under in 6 of their last 7 games. So both these teams trending in an under direction. The only thing that may keep me off of it here is looking at this being like, okay, against one another, actually, excuse me. So I think I have that last 10 incorrect. They've hit the over plenty, both these teams, as of late. Playing against one another is excluding overtime games. So sorry to confuse. But I do think that the way that this is going to go, if the Clippers do have the ability, I guess, to control this game, which again, they haven't really been in that spot against Lakers this season, but no LeBron, if they have the ability to control it, I do think the Clippers play a lot slower than we see the Lakers play. The Clippers right now, the 3rd slowest team in the last 10 games. The Lakers, the 3rd fastest when it comes to pace. So really trusting that the Clippers kind of control the pace of this game, and it should be an under cash here. So yeah, I like the trend between the two teams. Also, again, Kawhi Leonard over 9.5 rebounds plus assists. Don't mind that either. And guys, it's gonna wrap for today's show. Hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button. If you're watching right now, make sure to comment 21, meaning you made it to the end of the video. We hit 50K. We had a great stream. We actually had a 3-for-3 power play over on Prize Picks, $20 to win 100. So shout out to us on the stream. Building that kind of made the whole stream worthwhile in terms of the slips we put together. But things are cruising right now, and I can't thank you guys enough. We have some big life stuff going on as well that's going to allow us to have more time for the channel and more streams and whatnot. So pumping some crowd noise for yourselves here, guys. Appreciate the hell out of you, and it really does mean a lot. The support and everything that we've had as of late, wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. So appreciate the Fade Squad, even appreciate the Guppies, you guys engaging and whatnot, even if you're leaving hate comments, it's whatever. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.